ESPN's Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers.
We welcome you to Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers. And tonight, from the sold-out Breslin Center in East Lansing, it's number 12 Michigan State facing number 22 Texas. Both the Spartans and the Longhorns have already faced a slew of top 25 opponents, and winter is just now officially underway. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays to you. I'm Dave O'Brien alongside Jay, and we have a terrific ball game, I think, tonight, because last year when they played, the first half was just off the charts. Tremendous defense on both sides. And now we look at Tom Izzo tonight, Jay. He comes in having just missed a game. Very unusual circumstances. A secondary rules violation, according to the NCAA. He returns. Everyone's delighted to have him back.
Well, he's happy to be back because his team's playing better. They've had more time to practice. They are trying to get healthy, and they're playing against a Texas team that's going to be a real challenge. Not that they haven't had enough challenges to this point, but this is an important game because it's at home and it's another big test.
Well, they're really going to be seeing a terrific freshman tonight for Texas. A guy who has sparked them lately in Corey Joseph. He hit the big shot against North Carolina, the game winner over the weekend, iced that one.
Well, Corey Joseph is starting to take over this team as a freshman. He's been running the team. He's been more assertive, looking for his own opportunities, especially coming off ball screens, and knocking down this shot after missing a game-winning opportunity against Pittsburgh. To knock it down against North Carolina was a big step forward for this young man. It's another test for him to have to do it on the road against an excellent Michigan State team. And for Michigan State, Darrell Summers, the leading scorer, coming off perhaps his best game against Prairie View, a season-high 25 points. He's going to look to knock down shots early. Texas has to make him put the ball on the floor.
Starting lineups now for Texas. Joseph Balbe, Jordan Hamilton leading the way with 19 points. Johnson and another freshman, Tristan Thompson, for a young Longhorn team. For Michigan State, Kalen Lucas is the Spartans' most important player. He goes the way they go. Draymond Green is the Swiss Army knife. He's the all-everything guy for them, and he was seriously improving his jump shot over the summer, and he's hitting about 50% from three-point land. Boy, they're very, very tough to beat here inside the Breslin Center. 52 consecutive non-conference home wins for Michigan State. Have not lost since December 3 of 03 against Duke as far as out-of-conference play. Tonight's officials, Paul Jensen, Tom O'Neill, and Gary Maxwell. Michigan State in the home whites, and we are set to go. They're 8-3. Texas is 9-2. Number 12 against number 22. And the place is buzzing here in East Lansing, Michigan. Great to have you along here as the holiday season has descended upon us. And some great hoops on ESPN as Texas wins the opening tip.
Michigan State primarily a man-to-man team, but they're going to play off Doge Balbe at the point guard position. Make him try to prove it from the outside. That'll help clog up the lanes.
Here's Joseph. Johnson setting a screen for him. Out top for Hamilton. His first misfires, but Thompson comes away with a rebound. And a new shot clock for Texas.
Well, Tom Izzo arguing that Thompson went over the back of Adrian Payne, but Payne needs to be stronger in making those blockouts.
Joseph tied up by Lucas, but he reaches in and commits the foul. And they howl inside the Breslin Center. Texas, of course, coached by Rick Barnes, the all-time winningest coach in Texas basketball history. He's taken the Longhorns to the NCAA tournament every year he's been in Austin, Texas. So two of the best coaches in the business going toe-to-toe here tonight. Joseph up top for Hamilton again.
Green switched off on him.
He'll fire it up, and it's in and out. The rebound tipped, and it's going to be off Texas.
But Jordan Hamilton has had 2 open looks at the basket. For open threes, he hasn't knocked them down. He's an outstanding scorer. He can score in a variety of ways. He's got big-time range. They post him up quite a bit down on the low block to try to get a guard posted up. He can score all different kind of ways.
Well, the steal by Balbe, the senior from Istanbul, Turkey, one of the great defenders inside the Big 12.
He did a great job last year on Kalen Lucas. That was a set play. Michigan State trying to go backdoor off the opening set play that they had.
And it's Corey Joseph with a 2. You mentioned in the open, Jay, that over the last 6 games he's averaging 16 points a game and is quickly becoming their go-to man every bit as much as Hamilton is.
Got to watch Draymond Green in the post here.
Kalen Lucas feeding Green, slapped away into the corner. He retrieves it. Here's Delvon Rowe off the fake. He won't shoot it. Lucas off his own fake. And the stuff out of nowhere by Delvon Rowe. He can get elevated as fast as anybody in college basketball. Balbe will give it up in the paint. On the run out, Rowe. Hung on to it. Can't get the roll. Summers cannot get it to go from close range.
I'm not sure that Rowe should have been given the ball that far away from the basket. But Texas is trying to get great pressure on the basketball. They want to take Michigan State out of their offense by pressuring the ball.
Gary Johnson, the steady senior. Here's Joseph again.
Well, that ball's got to go inside.
Thompson takes it under the rack and draws the foul with 17:41 to go in the first half. As we go back to the role play moments ago.
Well, the shot goes up. Terrific shot fake by Kalen Lucas, and nobody boxes out. You say Delvon Rowe comes all the way from the top when Tristan Thompson goes out to try to put pressure on that shot because Doge Balbe left the floor on that shot fake. And that just broke the entire defense down
and allowed Delvon Rowe to get to the offensive glass.
Thompson at the line after the Adrian Payne foul. The freshman has been drawing a lot of fouls, but he's having trouble converting at the line. He's only hitting 47%.
Well, that's one thing he'll work on. He's a left-hander, and he doesn't shoot the same shot twice, either as a jump shot or from the free throw line. That's something he's working on. He's got a lot of talent. Boy, around the rim, he dunks just about everything.
Looked pretty smooth there at the line to put Texas in the lead 4-2.
Doge Balbe, Dave, one of the
best on-ball defenders in the country. Last year, he totally shut down Kalen Lucas, and that was a healthy Kalen Lucas without the Achilles injury that was about as fast as any guard in the country.
Summers slipped a little bit, lost it, but lost it to a teammate in Payne. Here's Lucas open for a long one. Got it, a three-pointer.
Well, that was a nice job by Adrian Payne when he picked up that loose ball, not to panic.
And the former Big Ten Player of the Year knocked it down. Of course, trying to come back from the nasty Achilles injury. Michigan State with their first lead of the night. Payne, nice defense there to deny as he slaps it to Summers. He floats in the air. The bank won't go. And 16:55 to go, and a whistle in the lane and a foul. Let's go back to Payne grabbing the loose ball.
Terrell Summers, when he puts the ball on the floor more than once, he's a little more prone to turn it over. And Adrian Payne, who has been turning the ball over a little bit, showed a lot of poise there and then jumping in front and knocking that ball away. That was just a bad angle from which to feed the post by Gary Johnson. You know, Adrian Payne got the start because Garrick Sherman was a little bit late getting to the shoot-around today. He did a good job when he started the ball game. He's a young player still trying to figure it out.
So Payne hits the bench. Rowe just committed a foul. A jump shot will go for Jordan Hamilton. Finally knocks one of those down.
He's active coming off screens, moving without the ball, and he just lost Delvon Rowe. That's a tough matchup for Rowe.
Green finding Summers cross court. Too strong. Sherman just into the game. Grabs the board. Lucas, another three. And that one's short. Rowe high up for the rebound. It's knocked away. Oh, and a whistle on that play as well. A foul against Texas, 7-5. The Longhorns with the early lead.
Delvon Rowe has been really active on the glass in this game. He's a good rebounder. Has not been an active offensive rebounder early on in this season. But if he goes after the ball, he's finally healthy now. He needs to continue to go after that ball.
Balbe just picked up his first foul. Michigan State trying to get it in finally to Rowe. And Lucas will set it up.
Corey Joseph guarding Terrell Summers.
Sherman back to Lucas. The step back jumper. Yes, a two.
Well, that is a really hard shot. And this is an outstanding jump shooting team. I have not seen a better jump shooting team this season than Michigan State. They shoot a high percentage of what is a very difficult shot, the 17-foot jump shot.
And hitting their threes as well, particularly Draymond Green. Here's Hamilton. Tough shot. That won't fall as Sherman's there for another rebound. Now, the thing that Lucas has been lacking coming back from the Achilles is that explosiveness, Jay. That first step on a play like this, he lost it. Hamilton comes away with it. Working on the freshman Appling. He got airborne. Somehow got the pass to Thompson. No foul there. Back up strong and now draws the whistle. And fans wanted a traveling violation there, but a foul instead in a 7-7 tie.
Well, Kalen Lucas struggled last season against Texas in Austin, largely because of Doge Balbe, but the nice step back dribble and hits it.
exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And in part by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
Michigan State and Texas, when they played last year, the Spartans would lose in Austin 79-68. Quite a battle it was. This one tied 7-7. Tom Izzo returning to work after a one-game suspension. The Hall of Fame bound coach, one game for a secondary violation. He served that Saturday. They won huge against Prairie View. Michigan State employing an individual associated with a prospect that was during a camp. The individual counselor at a June basketball camp paid $475. Jay, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, listen, reasonable minds can differ on this. I thought that ruling and the way it was handled was an embarrassment on the part of the NCAA. The basketball focus group is trying to do the right thing. Everybody's well-intentioned, but I think the NCAA whiffed on that one. The idea that you would suspend a coach for a secondary violation that was inadvertent of a very murky rule is really, I think, an embarrassment. And I think the NCAA has to take a good, hard look at this rule and the application of it and make it proportional. That was a disproportionate response to something they're trying to stop, which is an abuse. But what they punished was not an abuse. It wasn't even close to it.
Do you think he should have been suspended at all?
No. And the only thing that I would say that the NCAA should have done, if they wanted to say, listen, step forward, have the NCAA president say, listen, this is not the way this rule is supposed to be applied. We need to take a look at this and make sure that it's fair. That would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. But to stand by silently and watch one of the honorable men in the game get sullied like that for no reason, I think was a real embarrassment on the part of the NCAA.
Hard to fathom. It's also hard to fathom that Tom Izzo would serve a suspension before Bruce Pearl.
Right. And you know, that I think that's a very fair point. The one thing that bothers me about the entire thing, though, is just with that rule alone separate, it was poorly administered, poorly applied, and they did a really bad job with it.
Well, he's back at it today. Now, you've talked to Tom about this, and you have to wonder about the rule because the rule in its essence feels ridiculous.
It is. I mean, it's very well intentioned. What the rule was designed to stop or intended to stop was a program having an elite camp where they bring in hot prospects for an elite camp. And in order to get a player to come to camp, they pay his AAU coach $10,000 to come speak. Well, one, that's not what happened here. And if you want to stop an abuse, you go after the abuses. You don't go after, you don't try to stop, reckless driving by punishing a parking violation. And a parking violation in an unmarked spot. It was disproportionate. And I think the NCAA made a mistake. I think smart people in the NCAA office have to regret it. But they haven't stepped forward to say anything, and I think that's a mistake. And hopefully it's a mistake that they'll remedy going forward, because you'd hate to see another coach treated as poorly as Izzo was treated. And I don't think the right result is to say, okay, well, you did this to Izzo, now you got to go after somebody else to make it fair.
Right.
The fair thing is to do the right thing by the rule and re-examine it.
Green lost a jumper, and he's been so hot from beyond three. He's been hitting 50% of his shots, but early on Michigan State as a team just 25%. And one of the better jump shooting teams you're going to see all season. Foul here against Texas with 13:58 to go in the first half. And tomorrow on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern, Holiday Hoops continues. Number 9 Georgetown taking on number 17 Memphis. That game also available online at ESPN3.com. Hill with his first foul for the Longhorns. Their best win of the season to date, coming in overtime against top 25 Illinois inside Madison Square Garden. Jump shot on the way and a misfire by Summers. Green tips it, but controlled by Texas. Brown.
Wow.
And what a play as Jordan Hamilton finishes, and a whistle as well.
Boy, what a great job first defensively by Texas to go after that rebound. I mean, I thought Jordan Hamilton got caught going over the top of that screen, but when Corey Joseph finally got that ball and stuck his nose into rebound, he passed ahead quickly. I mean, that ball never hit the floor until it went through the basket. That is a textbook fast break by the Longhorns.
Coben Brown, a little shovel alley-oop there, and Texas is running. And they have opened up the lead here. See Hamilton at 19 points a game.
He is just a pure scorer. And one thing that Texas has always done under Rick Barnes is they guard. This is an outstanding defensive team.
Corey Lucius, no, too strong. Summers will keep it alive. Lucas back to Green. He has a long time to shoot it, but his shots aren't falling early on.
Well, they've gotten some good open looks, especially after offensive rebounds. Nice pass.
The 18-footer on top of that backboard, and now tapped out by Michigan State after the miss by Matt Hill. So everything is going the Longhorns' way in the early minutes here in East Lansing.
Well, they're really making it go their way, aren't they? You know, with their defense, to put the kind of pressure they put on the ball, that can really disrupt your timing, pushes you a little further out on the floor. And I think Michigan State has hurried a couple of their shots. It hasn't been pronounced, but they've hurried a couple of them. And that's because of that Texas pressure.
Jay Lucas now at the top of the key for Texas. Brown up top for Thompson.
They're not even guarding him out there. They want him to shoot that.
Spinning into the lane, and an ugly looking shot. A battle for it, and Kalen Lucas tiptoes his way to it. Here's Summers. He'll attack, airborne, and a blocking foul. And a shooting foul as he'll go to the line for a pair.
I think in years past that might have been something that Darrell Summers would have pulled up for a jump shot on. But instead he really put his head down. He attacked the basket. He avoided that charge. Thompson tries to take the charge, and he's able just to avoid it and pick up the block and get to the free throw line, where he doesn't spend near enough time. He's athletic enough and skilled enough. He needs to get to the free throw line more often.
And a good career foul shooter at 76%. The senior. He's increased his scoring from his junior to his senior year. He is the leading scorer right now for the Spartans. Tom Izzo has talked about this being a closer knit team than last year's group, which of course went to the Final Four for the 6th time in 12 years.
He's gotten better leadership off of this team, and the guy sitting next to him, Draymond Green, I think is his best leader. Usually your leadership comes from your point guard position, and they get good leadership, very good, from Kalen Lucas. I think their best leader is Green.
He will not get that one to go. Boy, it touched about 4 places on the iron.
Well, how good was Wanmedi against North Carolina? Came in when Tristan Thompson was in foul trouble, had 9 rebounds against the Tar Heels. Didn't worry about scoring, just really went after the ball. 5 of his rebounds were offensive. He was really good.
Yeah, that was in 15 minutes. The fall away by Rowe rolls away. Wanmedi there with the rebound. Texas on top 13-9. Michigan State has missed their last 7 shots.
Michigan State really packing that ball in. They're packing that defense in, excuse me, making it tough for Texas to get into the lane.
Nice touch there by Gary Johnson, a 6'6" senior out of Houston.
Well, he's really improved. He's become much more assertive this season offensively.
Long one here by Appling, tipped. Keith Appling, terrific freshman out of Pershing High in Detroit. Lucas against Lucas. Crowd wanted to get the ball back in a turnover there. It did not happen.
On the other end, if Keith Appling had just given a little shot fake, Jacobin Brown would have flown right past him. That's something he's got to learn, because he's an outstanding shooter.
Thompson will try it again. Rebound free in the lane, and scooped up by the freshman Appling. Now he's a rocket. He'll take it down the lane and scoop it up and in.
Nobody from Texas stops the ball in transition. Their poorest defensive effort thus far in the game.
That breaks a 5-minute field goal drought for Michigan State, and they've cut the lead to 4.
Brown coming off a little double screen down low. Now they're going to post up Thompson.
Thompson jumping into the lane, leaning in hard. Rebound tipped, and here come the Spartans.
Not going to get a better look than they just got. Well, there's the shot fake by Appling, but a really nice job by Gary Johnson. Johnson made 2 amazing defensive plays at the end of last year's game in Austin that I think decided the game in Texas's favor.
It was a marvelous basketball game, high octane. Lucas in the paint. It won't drop, tipped up by Rowe, and no. Not much going down right now for the Spartans, and they are 4 for 20 from the field.
But both teams have gotten opportunities. Texas has come closer to the basket, and they haven't finished them.
Johnson barely ticking the iron there, but Thompson is there to finish it.
Anytime that young man is within about 5 feet of the basket, he's dunking it. And he had a catch and finish against North Carolina that was really impressive in a game in which he
spent a lot of it on the bench in foul trouble. He really came in late and made a big play.
So a 6-point game.
Flop. And took it away.
Rowe trying to get it down to Nix. And another sloppy play here by the Spartans.
Just not a good angle from which to feed the post. One dribble over, but this was extraordinarily well done in transition. Never hit the floor, but this ball hit the floor quickly after it went through the net.
There have been some outstanding games when these two schools get together. About 2006, Drew Neitzel's drive with 2.4 seconds left would give the Spartans the win 63-61. In 2007, behind then freshman Kalen Lucas. 18 points for Lucas, and Spartans would win that game by just 6, 78-72. On to 2008. Darrell Summers with a clutch three-pointer with 18.6 to go helped Michigan State to a 67-63 win. And just last year, Texas got a big win behind Damian James. He had 23 and 13 rebounds, and the Horns would cruise 79-68 in a game that felt a lot tighter than the final score. So here's a look at the series history, tied at 3-3. It was 1 year ago tonight. Number 2 Texas knocked off number 9 Michigan State 79-68.
And after that game, Texas really took kind of a nosedive. They wound up getting to the NCAA tournament, losing in the first round in overtime to Wake Forest. But Texas really struggled once they got into Big 12 play. They had some chemistry issues. Things didn't gel particularly well. They weren't a great offensive team, but I think Rick Barnes really likes the makeup of this particular team and the way they play together. And I think this is a team that's going to continue to get better, especially as Corey Joseph gets better handling the ball out front.
So far, losses to Pitt and Southern Cal. The Southern Cal loss certainly doesn't look like a bad loss the way the Trojans have been playing.
And that was really the first road game for Texas, and they didn't respond very well. They probably got out there a little bit too early, and Marcus Simmons did a great job on Jordan Hamilton. What a block up top.
Payne using all of his 6'10", but a great follow by Johnson. And he muscled his way right back up to make it 19-11.
That's one of the things you love about Gary Johnson. He doesn't quit on a play.
Payne fires it up. No. Thornton gets the rebound on the hustle. Lucas trying to shred that D into paint, does for 2.
Lucas is 3 for 6. The rest of the team 2 for 16.
And Summers and Green combined are 0 for 8. Two of their better offensive players. Hamilton leaning in. Tipped. Payne battling for the board. It comes out to Kalen Lucas. Around the back. The 2 defenders got back. He'll shoot it now. Rowe trying to tip it. Outmuscles everyone. His second ever not there. And now a whistle in the lane, and that foul will go against the Spartans.
Well, everybody was in there fighting, but Adrian Payne used that right arm to grab Gary Johnson when he went up. Excuse me. It was Tristan Thompson, I think he grabbed. See, well, it's closer than I thought. Actually, I thought it was his right arm, and so did Paul Jansen. But you know what? That might have been a play on.
Instead, it'll be his second foul, and it's 1-on-1 time here for Texas. That's with 8:25 to go, so already shooting 1-on-1s. And a 19-13 lead. Now Tom Izzo not happy at all with the crew here. Paul Jansen, Tom O'Neill, and Gary Maxwell.
Well, he just got a bench warning, and that's why he's a little bit incredulous right now.
Izzo returning to work after a 1-game suspension. And now wants some sort of clarification here with 8:25 to go. And they're going to the monitor. Now, Tom might have been confused, Jay, about who the foul was against.
Yeah, when Paul Jansen pointed right at Adrian Payne, and I thought Payne used that right arm to grab, and apparently Jansen did too.
And they may also be looking at the game clock here.
Yeah. Well, it was still going, and the shot clock reset. Maybe it was a little bit too slow.
Well, all through that series, continued to run until the foul, until the whistle blew.
It looked from my vantage point like Payne grabbed, but what Jansen might have called is that he used that off arm to discard.
And it's a tough play to call. There was so much contact. You could have picked out either player perhaps, but when the whistle blew, I thought it was Payne.
And of course, the students, most of them are gone for the break, but the ISZone is fully intact. These are alumni ISZone members from all over the country who have flown in from California and Washington State, from Maine and from Florida, all over the place to help pack the Breslin Center here tonight.
That guy they just showed, was he a senior?
Great lean in there by Garrett Sherman, a 6'10 sophomore who did not start tonight. Got a great graduate program here at Michigan State. And it's starting to come to life.
Well, as poorly as Michigan State has played offensively, not that Texas has knocked the bottom out of it, but still right there, a 2-possession game. Good pass.
And the foul, 7:55 to go. Gary Johnson going in strong. We're in the first half. Green will pick up his second personal. 1950, number 22 Texas leading number 12 Michigan State. Texas with a 19-15 lead over Michigan State as we welcome you back to Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. Jay Billis, take us inside the play.
You know, Dave, oftentimes the guy that sets the screen is the one that's going to be open. Focus on the top of your screen. Gary Johnson going to set a screen for Jordan Hamilton here. Here comes the screen, little exchange. Hamilton's going to come off here. Now, watch Draymond Green here. He's got to be able to see his man and the ball and make sure that he gives help, but at the same time doesn't let Gary Johnson get open. Gary Johnson screens and immediately looks for his offense. And Draymond Green a little bit out of position. He was worried more about Jordan Hamilton, the cutter, instead of the screener, and didn't stay at home. And Corey Joseph made a great pass to get that ball because he was alert to watch for not just the cutter, but the screener as well. That's just really good play by Corey Joseph.
So the second foul on Draymond Green. Not only that, he's shooting a lot of jump shots. He is 0 for 5 from the field. So a rough start for a key Spartan who is leading the team in rebounds, steals, blocks, and three-point accuracy. Johnson at the line makes the first. He gets 71%.
He's had a really good start to the season. You know, he's averaging about 7.5 boards per game, just under 12 points. But he's so active. He's got a great motor, goes after the ball, and now he's starting to knock down a little face-up jumper. He's not an offensive player, but when he's left open, now he can reliably knock that shot down.
5-point lead here for the Longhorns, playing on the road inside the Breslin Center. Thornton swings it to Corey Lucius, who had 20 against Duke in that loss. Green trying to get a little closer and swatted away by Matt Hill using his 6'10 size.
See, that's where Gary Johnson probably needs to be a little more conservative defending because Matt Hill's behind him. You know, Matt Hill is leading this team in blocked shots. And he needs to, actually Tristan Thompson blocked shots, Matt Hill second. And with Hill coming over from the weak side, you can't foul. You got to give him a chance to wipe that thing away.
Johnson picked up the foul. Green at the line. Just scuffled there 59%. But looks smooth on that occasion. So Michigan State cuts it to 3. Joseph off the screen, gets himself open. Can't drop it in.
Well, they ran that over and over in the second half against North Carolina.
Going to his left. Joseph is really good off that high ball screen.
Spartans with a chance to tie. They've been trailing for the bulk of the half. Thornton up top for Green. Derek Sherman really calling for it. Well, he got a pretty good shot, but it wouldn't fall for him. And here comes Texas.
Hill made him finish it. Got to stay on the floor because Sherman likes to ball fake, go up and under. You just got to make him finish over the top of you.
Johnson will fire. Nice touch.
Well, that's the shot we were just talking about. That's a shot that first couple years at Texas he was not hitting. Now he's a threat. You have to go out and guard him. Michigan State's not guarding Tristan Thompson out there, not guarding Doge Balbay, but they've got to go out and guard Gary Johnson there.
Well, they've got Kalen Lucas working against Corey Joseph, the freshman. He's been unable to blow by him on plays where we have seen Kalen Lucas in the past just smoke a guy. Here's Thornton, well short.
Yeah, Lucas is not the same. I mean, Tom Izzo told me that he was watching some film of last year's game Well, you leave Jacobin Brown, he's going to fire that thing up.
From about 27 feet. Just a touch long.
Well, they tell you never to leave the ball. You leave him from 30 feet and he's going to shoot it.
Lucas trying to get inside, but he can't do it. And another whistle in the paint. It'll go the other way. The foul here against the Spartans. 2010 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic on ESPNU at 11 p.m. That's Utah against Butler. Then at 1 a.m. stay up late. It'll be Florida State against Hawaii. Sherman picks up his second foul, and that'll send Hill to the line.
Well, that Washington State-Baylor game is going to be a really good game. Washington State is terrific. And Ken Bone took over that program when Tony Bennett left for Virginia. And Klay Thompson, who's Michael Thompson's son, played at Minnesota, played in the NBA for a million years. I think he's one of the 5 best shooters in the country, averaging over 20 a game. He's the real thing.
Hill with a miss. Rowe with the rebound.
Both these teams give a lot of points away from the free throw line.
Neither team good there. 66% each way. Stolen away by Corey Joseph. Right by Lucius. Lays it in.
Boy, Joseph just threw Lucius out of the way. And those are the kind of turnovers that drive Tom Izzo crazy. It's not just that they turned it over. When Corey Lucius turned it over, that was kind of a pick 6. Texas did not have to play against Michigan State's defense. Turned it over to get a layup.
Appling, no, rounded out. Michigan State turning the ball over a lot, too. Had more turnovers than assists in 5 of 7. How about that slam by Tristan Thompson? And a timeout, Michigan State. That is not a happy grin by Tom Izzo. How about the looks on the faces inside the Breslin Center? Texas has opened up a 26-17 lead over Tom Izzo and the Spartans. How about Thompson with the slam?
Well, just a missed jump shot and nobody gets back. I mean, Derek Nix just jogging back. Corey Lucius gets caught in the middle of the floor. Nobody taking responsibility for stopping the ball. And that's what Tom Izzo during that timeout was basically telling his team, like, you guys want to play or not? Whose responsibility is it? Somebody's got to take responsibility.
Summers does as he knocks back a 2. Well, the guy really chewed out was Derek Nix. You're absolutely right. He did not get back to play defense, and Izzo let him have it with both barrels.
Well, one of the things when you play a good transition team, which Texas is, you've got to sprint back. It's not good enough to just run back anymore, and you certainly can't do what he calls buddy run. You can't just run with your matchup. You got to get out in front and get in front of the ball.
Thompson missing on a tough leaner. So a little bit of a window here for the Spartans.
Boy, Lucius needed to turn that corner right away. He could have gotten all the way to the rim.
Nix, no basket. He's fouled before that shot. So they wave it off. 4:39 to go in the half. Both teams 1 for 6 from 3-point distance. So it's been a chilly night in East Lansing.
When you play against this kind of defense, you can't really expect to knock down jump shot after jump shot. But one thing you have to do is you have to get a shot each time down. You can't cough the ball up and let Texas take it the other end for a layup.
Thompson just picked up his second foul. Wanmeni back on now for Rick Barnes.
And now trying to determine exactly who the foul was on. And they can go to the monitor for that if they choose.
They gave Hill the foul, so they corrected that call. Instead, Hill picks up his second. So Summers inbounds here for Rowe. And a travel. Another turnover for a team that has been prone to turnovers. They're also getting out rebounded on a regular basis and not very good at the foul line. These in some cases very atypical of a Tom Izzo team.
Yeah, it's been confounding, really. The kind of turnovers, way too many of them are unforced. And the rebounding, they're a smaller team than they've been, so they may not be quite as good of a rebounding team, but they should be better than they have been.
Thompson will attack. Banks it in. Boy, he's got a lot of game.
Well, you used the word, they're attacking.
And right now Texas is getting into the lane and getting to the rim. And this has been a jump shooting Michigan State team, and the jump shots aren't going in.
Another miss there. A tie up. Nix battling there in the lane. The possession arrow will keep it On this end of the court. Now there's a whistle. There's a foul on the play.
Yeah, Gary Maxwell had a foul. I think that Tom O'Neill had a jump ball, but Gary Maxwell had the foul first.
28-19 Texas. Initially by Gary Maxwell, ruled a jump ball, as you see there. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Lucas, no, and nothing falling from outside the three-point line for Michigan State. They're 1 for 8 from 3. And we have a timeout.
Well, Tristan Thompson, they are giving him a jump shot, but he's not settling for that shot. He is getting the ball into the lane and getting to the rim where he can score more easily, get fouled, or both. That's a strong move with the right hand by the young lefty.
Brian Burns Studio coming up on the Kay Jewelers Halftime Report. I'll be joined by the coach Dan Dockage and Jimmy Dykes. The Big East has 5 teams in the top 5, 2 of them undefeated. They're playing tonight. We'll get you caught up to date. Plus bragging rights, Missouri, Illinois. We break down the shootout in St. Louis. Guys, we'll see you at the half.
Thanks, Ryan. Looking forward to that. Missouri number 10, Illinois number 21, meeting for the 41st time. First time both sides have been ranked since 2002 and 03. And Xavier and Gonzaga first meeting since the 2006 NCAA tournament. The Zags won that. That's tonight at 11 o'clock. Well, Michigan State not doing much right on the floor. 7 for 33 shooting at Jay.
This has been a horror show offensively for Michigan State. And Kalen Lucas has not shot the ball particularly well, and he's been the dead-eye shooter of the group. He's 3 of 9, but geez, he got a lot of 1 for 4s, 1 for 5s, 0 for 5 for Draymond Green.
And 21% for the Spartans in the first half. Nice. Summers wants to get in close, and a tough move for 2.
So that's getting to the rim and using his athleticism.
And he curled that screen around the free throw line and got to the rim. Got something easy.
No surprise coming out of a timeout that a Tom Izzo team scored. He might be the best in the country over his coaching tenure. Off the hands of Wembanyama, he might have had an easy dunk had he caught that. That's 5 turnovers for the Longhorns.
You see Darrell Summers coming off that little screen, curling it and getting to the basket. You know, caught it, dribbled it. And I think if you can make Darrell Summers put the ball on the floor more than once, he is really good catch and shoot. Really good one dribble pull up. If he has to put the ball on the floor 2 or 3 times, the defense can get a little bit of an advantage. I think that's one area where he can still improve.
He was tremendous in the NCAA tournament. They run to the Final Four, named the Midwest Region MVP. Here's Rowe backing down, getting close himself, and draws the contact with 2:59 to go. He'll be shooting.
Jacobin Brown's got to come down there quicker and dig in the post. He can't just reach in there. If you're going to just reach when Delvon Rowe's going up for that shot, you know, make him take a tough shot over your teammate in there. Don't just bail him out like that.
Brown's first personal. Rowe, very solid foul shooter at 74%. Says he's the healthiest he's been since he stepped foot on this campus, and indeed since fracturing his right knee in the first game of his senior year of high school.
Well, Tom Izzo wants him to start thinking big again, to start dreaming. And he's been trying to survive because of all the pain he's been through. Last year played with a torn meniscus, didn't really tell anybody, and he's a tough kid, played in pain, and then had it operated on at the end of the season.
But you're right, he's as healthy as he's been, and he needs to just start taking off.
Yeah, because of all his injuries, he was afraid to say anything. Tough catch there by Thompson. Feeds it back out for Johnson.
Texas really looking for that lob after the flex cut. Michigan State trying to load that lane up, and that lob's available.
Joseph right back for Johnson, missing the short range jumper. Spartans come away with it. They want to run. Summers in the corner.
Oh, nice pass.
Too much, though, for Rowe. Right idea, but too much on the pass. How about the classic reaction by Tom Izzo? Christmas Day, ESPN and ABC deliver 5 NBA games at noon Eastern. It's the Bulls and the Knicks at 2:30 on ABC, the Celtics and the Magic, and at 5 Eastern, the Heat and the Lakers. Wrapping up at 8 Eastern on ESPN, the Nuggets and the Thunder. At 10:30 Eastern, the Trailblazers and the Warriors. Long jump shot off the mark there by Jordan Hamilton.
And now Texas settling for jump shots. I mean, Texas should be up by a fair clip more than just 6 points right now.
It's a great point, the way the Spartans are shooting it, that it's only a 6-point game is kind of amazing. Appling out of trouble and almost threw it away. Shot clock at 15.
Boy, was he lucky there. That was almost a steal and a dunk.
Lucas. That's a little more like Kalin Lucas. Right down the paint.
But Texas just let him split it.
And a timeout. Rick Barnes. Now a 4-point game.
Got a little high ball screen, and Kalin Lucas able to split the defenders and get all the way to the rim, finished with that left hand. You know, Dave, you talked about the fact that he's not as fast as he used to be. I mean, he's still coming back from that Achilles injury, and he doesn't have the jet quick speed that he had last year, but I think one of the things he's doing, having slowed down, he's seeing more, and he's making some better decisions. I do think that his speed is going to come back to him throughout the course of the year. When it does, I think he may ultimately be a better player.
How much of what needs to happen with him is confidence, the confidence in knowing that the Achilles is okay, the foot is okay, you're healthy, you can go and do the things you used to do.
I think that's part of it. I think the other part of it, though, is he's been playing a ton of minutes, and he's been on the road, hadn't been able to rehab in his normal routine. And he's got to be able to get the proper rest and be intense in practice and play in games. But rest is a key component still for him, because he's not 100%. He's not back to the kind of condition that he's used to being in.
Thompson to kick back for Joseph. Gary Johnson up against Nix. And a foul on the deck before the shot with 1:21 to go in the half.
Well, there's not a lot that Derek Nix can do there. But Gary Johnson is just quicker, and he's going to back him in. And you're going to get called. If you put your hands down, you're going to get called for that. You've got to body up. You know, as long as you keep your hands up, you can almost commit mayhem with the body down low. But if your hands are on somebody, especially just off the post, you're going to get called for that.
Nix with plenty of body to do a lot of damage. Misfire there by Johnson. 10 team fouls, by the way, for Michigan State, so Texas shooting 2 for the rest of the half.
But if they were knocking free throws down, they could be padding this lead. You know, you're on the road, you're giving away points when you don't knock free throws down.
Another 6 out of 12 in the first half. 29-24. Summers up against Balbe. Nix using his big size, banks it in, and the foul. He'll go to the line.
He just stuck his shoulder right in the chest of Alexi Wandmeni and knocked him back. Picked up the foul and still finished the play. You know, Dave, that's a really nice response by Derek Nix. Remember at that timeout, Tom Izzo was all over him and basically asked him, Derek, do you want to play or not? And he has responded really well. Came back, made a big play there. If he knocks this free throw down, conventional three-point play to get Texas back within 2. Big play by Derek Nix.
And makes the foul shot. That's a bit of a headline. He was 5 for 15 before that one. This is a 2-point game. This is rather incredible that Michigan State is this close with a minute to go before halftime. Johnson may have gotten away with a travel there. They said no. Hamilton airborne. Short jumper for 2.
Well, they did get away with a travel, but Jordan Hamilton made a big-time move into that lane.
Lucas denied on the penetration. Summers won't wait. And yes, a three-pointer eventually. 1-point game. Michigan State having a horrendous shooting first half. And yet they're 1 point down to Texas.
Texas can take the last shot here. Michigan State is going to have to rebound. You don't want to give up a tip in here.
5 seconds left. Joseph off the fake, trying to get the shot in the air. And that's how the first half ends, with huge momentum for Lucas and Michigan State. Texas had a 9-point lead with about 4 minutes to go in the half, and Michigan State went on an 11-3 run to close the first 20 minutes. And at the break, it's 31-30, Texas clinging to a 1-point lead. Now to Ryan Burr, Jimmy Dykes, and Dan Dakich in the studio for the Kay Jewelers halftime report. Welcome back to the Breslin Center here in East Lansing, Michigan. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers, ready for the start of the second half. Texas with a 1-point lead over Michigan State, a battle of top 25s. We look at the trends, Jay, in the first half. Texas points up turnovers, they're +8. Look at the way the Spartans started, but also the way they finished shooting the ball in the first half.
Yeah, I talked about Michigan State being one of the best jump shooting teams, if not the best jump shooting team that I've seen this year. They wind up shooting 30% in the first half, but they came back late in the first half and started to play much better with a lot more energy. They defended pretty well for most of the first half. They held Texas to 31 points. The problem was when they turned it over, they gave Texas a lot of easy things in transition. They take those away. I think Michigan State's got a better chance to win. But I also think that Texas is going to start looking for Jordan Hamilton more often. He had 7 points in that first half. I think he's capable of much, much more.
Michigan State opens up the second half with the basketball. They led for all of 40 seconds in the first half. And it was 5-4. Kalin Lucas got the crowd going and tried to get Rowe going in the second half, but he misses the bunny.
But really well designed. A run out ball screen, slipped it right to the rim on the open side, and that's a play that Delvon Rowe has to finish.
So Corey Joseph, who's been their hot hand and beat Carolina with a jump shot over the weekend, has it up high now for Texas. Number 22, Michigan State. Number 12. His spin move in close and denied by Payne.
The long arms and athleticism of Adrian Payne. When he learns how to play, he's going to be a big-time player.
Well, Green starting the second half cold, but Summers airborne, no, tipped up and in.
Michigan State has not been dominating the glass thus far this year, but they've dominated the glass in this game. They're +11 thus far in the game.
Payne looking to deny again. This is the first lead since it was 5-4, and now he commits a foul after a block and a basket. He picks up the personal.
He just gave up the angle. You know, he had Tristan Thompson pushed off the lane just a bit and was trying to make him finish a post move over the top of him, but he gave up that angle. You know, when you're standing straight up with your arms up, it's easier for that post offensive player to get around you. And he's got to stay down, play a little more like an athlete, and stay between his man and the basket.
Payne with his third foul.
But take a look at this here. He's right between his man and the basket, but he just gives up the angle and gave up a little drop step, but he just needs to move his feet, keep that same angle, and essentially drive Thompson to shoot that ball just past the backboard.
So he comes out. Sherman comes in for him. And Texas retakes the lead at the foul line.
Texas really doing a nice job of applying pressure.
Draymond Green with a great vision. Here's Summers from the corner. Rowe up high, no. Boy, he gets there. He can outleap anybody in the building. He's just not finishing.
They have had some point-blank shots. Both teams really have, but to start the second half, Michigan State has missed 2 bunnies.
Jordan Hamilton with a miss, but taken right back away by Thompson for the stop.
And when he stays out of foul trouble, he is active and can go and get that ball, and anywhere inside of 5 feet, he's going to throw that thing down.
Tom Izzo is being told to sit down. 13 rebounds for Thompson. And a foul here with 18:08 to go.
Just got him with the body because the ball was clean up top by Balbay, but
Thompson just going right over the top of Draymond Green. There wasn't any contact. He just went over and took that ball away, and there was nobody between him and the basket after Green went to the ground.
Doge Balbay with the foul to put Kalin Lucas at the line. 77% for him.
Tristan Thompson has just about 10 rebounds on the ball game. He had 8 at halftime, and that young man really can grab a lot of boards, and as he refines his offensive game, still a bit raw, and he's got a great career ahead of him.
So Michigan State doesn't even have to go out and guard Doge Balbay. They're just loading up the lane.
Joseph trying to make a very tough shot, draws the foul as he hits the deck. And a foul will go against Terrell Summers, number 2.
Corey Joseph kind of reminds you of a bigger DJ Augustine with the way he plays.
He is deceptively fast with the ball in the open floor, and I think he needs to push it even more than he does. He puts a lot of pressure on your transition defense, and he's been so good. I think he's probably the only player right now that Rick Barnes really trusts with ball screens. They have not used ball screens in their offense as much as they did last year, but they're certainly using them for Cory Joseph. They like to set him more on the right side of the floor and let him come off left, and he does such a good job blasting off of them, making reads. This is a fine young player that's getting better and better each game.
He made 1 of 2. They're 9 for 16 at the line. So 3-point lead. Lucas just lost it out in front of the pack. Here's Johnson to stuff it.
That's another one where Tom Izzo calls those a pick six. I mean, it's a live ball turnover that you can take the other way for a layup, and that's scoring essentially without any defense.
So Texas on a 7-1 run. Just moments ago it felt like Michigan State had taken the lead. Summers has that one pop up out of his hands. Hamilton bouncing for Balbay for 2.
And Michigan State usually faster getting back. Their big men are laboring to get back, and their guards are slow getting back. And I thought that there was a little bit of contact there, but you have to expect contact for Darrell Summers taking in the lane. Everybody got caught below the free throw line. Nobody got back.
So the Longhorns back in front by 7. They were in the lead most of the first half. And a little shove from behind here, and the call against Texas and Johnson, and some derisive applause from the Spartan faithful. 16:54 to go here at the Breslin Center.
Both these teams spend a lot of time defending out of bounds underneath plays, and both of them run very good plays, and they run them to score. And Texas does a pretty good job of getting good pressure on the inbounder. And one thing you can't do is give up middle. You've got to make Michigan State throw the ball to the short side of the floor here.
Lucas will sit. Corey Lucius on the floor now for Tom Izzo. He has the ball now for the Spartans. Trying to go to 9-3. Texas is 9-2. The swing for Green. Great dish underneath for Sherman in the bucket.
Draymond Green had a wide open shot off that ball screen and pop, but he gave it to Garrick Sherman, who had a better shot. Sherman really uses that rim very effectively to shield the shot block.
He's become a much better player even since just last year. Here's Hill. Had to adjust his shot and knocks it down.
But how about the catch?
In the corner, Appling. And those threes still aren't going down for Michigan State. They are 2 out of 12 beyond the arc. And that'll be a foul right there at the foul line against Michigan State as Cory Joseph tried to weave his way in. 42-35. Rowe coming back on now for Michigan State.
But Texas getting just about whatever they want in transition. They're getting the ball up the court quickly. Cory Joseph gets it in the middle of the floor. That wasn't a speedy break, but he was able to get into the middle of the floor, get into the lane, and draw that foul.
Not a good foul for Draymond Green, who goes to the bench with number 3. Joseph directing Travick Hill up high.
They're trying to post Hamilton here against Appling. .14 to shoot now for the Longhorns. Hamilton up against the freshman. A jump pass for Joseph. He's open and can't drain it. It's on the top of that backboard, so out of play. And we have a timeout. 15:39 to go in the Breslin Center. Texas still leading at 42-35. In a 7-point basketball game, the difference has been Texas's ability to score off of the miscues of Michigan State. Kalen Lucas going behind his back, dribbling off his foot, and Gary Johnson gets an easy layup. The drive by Summers might have gotten fouled, but so what? Get back, stop the ball. Instead of getting back to that Spartan helmet in the middle of the lane, making a stand, Michigan State gives up a layup. 13-1 in points off of turnovers, and in a 7-point game, that is a huge stat. And Tom Izzo not happy with the way his team has given away some points in this ball game. When they've made Texas work, Michigan State has been pretty good defensively, but you can't give up easy baskets and expect to win at home against a very talented Longhorn team.
And the Spartans here at the Breslin Center have had the lead for less than a minute tonight. For all of 54 seconds, they briefly regained it when they were on top 33-32, but they only held it for 14 seconds.
Boy, there's a controversy over whose ball it is right now. They're trying. Michigan State was about to inbound it. Paul Jansen says no, it's Texas's ball. They're arguing, and the referees don't know what's going on is the problem. It's Michigan State's ball. I don't know what the problem is. And why three guys whose job it is to know don't know.
Well, this crew has had a bit of a rough night. It has been rather a balky game, but a quick strike here inside by Thompson, who's having a terrific ball game. He has 15 points along with 11 rebounds.
And just another giveaway. I mean, that's a simple out of bounds play for Michigan State and against full court pressure, and they give it away for a layup.
Summers with another perimeter shot that won't fall. That might be in the obituary of this game tonight for Michigan State if they can't rally. To spin by Thompson. The follow won't go. A battle on the baseline for the rebound, and it's going to be Texas ball.
Well, right now Texas has just been stronger. On drives when there's contact, Texas has come away with the ball, and Michigan State has a couple times been on the floor or reeling away. And when the ball has been up for grabs a few times in the second half, it's been Texas that's come away from it.
It's times like this that in the past certainly Tom Izzo has looked to Kalen Lucas, who of course now is a senior, to lift up this Spartan team. Hamilton lets fly. Got it, a three-pointer.
Well, he comes off screens, makes reads, and sets his feet very well. He's got really good vision of the defense, and when he learns how to defend, well, he's going to be a complete player. The one thing he doesn't do is guard very well, but when he gets that, I mean, Jordan Hamilton's got it all.
Draymond Green remaining on the bench with 3 personal fouls. They shovel inside for Sherman in a bucket, and when they desperately needed to cut it to 10.
Really nice ball reversal, little cross screen to get Sherman wide open under the basket. Great delivery. That was well run offense. We haven't seen a lot of that in the second half from Michigan State.
Yeah, not too much. Approaching the 14-minute mark. Swished in from deep on the wing again by Hamilton.
Well, he's the guy that has to get going, and once he sees the ball go through the net, he gets more and more confident, and he can take tough shots and make them.
Lucius does as well as he returns the favor with a 3. His first bucket. Quick strike on the other end, and the foul as well. Boy, Texas just beating Michigan State down to the other end time and time again.
Looks like the old Celtics. You know, you score on them, they get a layup on you and just take your heart away. And that was just a really poor job. The transition defense by the Spartans has been the poorest I've seen from them all season long. And Texas has essentially driven a truck through that hole. Backpedaling. Corey Lucius, after making that shot, which was a great shot, he just backpedals back, and Tristan Thompson beat him down the floor, got a layup as a result.
He could not convert the foul shot, so no three-point play, but a 52-40 lead. And Thompson is the guy they can't handle more than anybody else. Rowe trying to work into the lane. No, as it rolls off the iron, and Thompson's there for another rebound.
Everything Rowe has shot is a fall away. And right now, after doing a great job on the offensive glass in the first half, nothing for Michigan State, and they're getting pummeled. Nobody's picking up the ball, getting easy shots. I mean, Corey Joseph should not be able to get a clean look at the basket like that, just bringing the ball down in a secondary break.
Timeout. 55-40. Texas has quieted Breslin here in a way we have not heard it this quiet in a long time. Back at the Breslin Center, Michigan State fans with a look of disdain for the proceedings. With 13:09 to go, they are down 15 to Texas. Longhorns are shooting the lights out suddenly. Tom Izzo following the loss to Syracuse December 7. Gut check time for us. I'm as disappointed in that performance as I've been in any since I've been at Michigan State. We turned into a pretty boy jump shooting team instead of the blue collar fist fighting team we should be. That's the kind of team they have been and going to Final Fours.
Yeah, and people say, well, you know, they're small. They're small at the guard spots. Well, they've been small before. That's not the issue. Small hasn't been giving up all these layups. And that's one thing that they need to fix. They've been giving up way too many layups in this game. And you're not going to win against really good teams, which Texas is, by giving up layups.
Foul there before the shot.
That looked like a goaltend.
It did. Was not called. Said a shooting foul. And it'll be on Thompson. And against him, number 3, actually, and Johnson is 3rd.
Look going up there. That's a tough angle to be able to see it, but that's awfully close. That's one that you got to leave alone. But heck, it worked out, so you might as well block it if it's not going to get called.
Indeed.
He was awfully high up there. That's
a young man that has blocked a lot of shots. He had 5 blocks against Illinois. That's 23-24 in the season, leading that team.
Green missing on 2. One cold shooting night for Michigan State against a tough opponent. Hamilton with a miss. Rebound batted here to Lucius. Trying to thread the needle with a pass.
I mean, how did he think that pass was going to get through? It was 2 on 3. There was no way that ball was getting through there. No way.
And Texas couldn't save it. Michigan State will have it. Another look, though.
No way does that ball get through. If it's not Joseph taking that thing away, it would have been Balbay knocking it away.
Summers through the lane for a stop, and maybe that will wake up the Spartans. 55-42.
That's what he needs to do more of. Get to the rim. Get into the lane. That quote about the pretty boy jump shooting team. They need to get to the rim more often.
The lead ahead for Nix, but too much off his fingertips. Crowd doesn't like it at all.
I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, you would think after that last play when they're 2 on 3 is a terrific drive by Summers, just curling, and instead of trailing him and trying to get between him and the basket, Jordan Hamilton just let him go all the way. But that's 2 really bad plays in a row by Corey Lucius, and he's usually much smarter and more judicious with the ball.
He's a junior. Only 5 turnovers for Texas. They're only averaging 13 a game. So when they're down, and Michigan State down by this many, you can't rely on Texas to be sloppy and kick the ball over. In fact, they haven't turned it over in about 12 minutes. Lucas airborne. He'll draw contact and go to the line with 11:56 to go. And we have a timeout on the floor. Just under 12 minutes at the Breslin Center. Michigan State trailing by 13 points.
Ryan Burr in studio. Let's get you caught up to date now. Northern Iowa taking on Indiana. Jake Cook for 3. You can book that. And at the half, 42-33, Hoosiers losing to Northern Iowa. Just a reminder, coming up next, bragging rights. Illinois versus Missouri from St. Louis. Great look there at Dimitri McCamey, 4th in the nation in assists. He'll have a chance tonight against Mizzou in the up-tempo defense. Dave and Jay.
Thanks, Ryan. That one right after our game, which Texas has control of right now, 55-42 over Michigan State, mainly because of the freshman Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson has dominated the Michigan State front court. He hasn't just outplayed them, he's dominated them. 17 points on 6 of 12 shooting. He's got 12 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. That is right on his season average for offensive rebounds. He's one of the best offensive rebounders, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. That left-hander has everybody here saying, "Oh, Canada."
They had 20 in overtime against Illinois at Madison Square Garden, so he can do it on the big stage, and he's certainly doing it here tonight against the number 12 team in the country. Balbay with the foul right before the break to put Lucas at the line.
It's not like Thompson is doing anything complicated, like he's making Hakeem Olajuwon moves in the post. He's running the floor. He's getting good post position. He's going after every rebound. And he's finishing plays around the rim. That's what good big guys do.
And he's beaten them down the floor several times for pretty easy buckets. 55-44. So the Spartans have a run on them here.
He's really calling for the ball now, and they need to give it to him. Let him go to work in there.
Brown on the dribble. Matt Hill. Here's Thompson. Shot clock at 10 for Texas. Thompson trying to take that baseline and and lost the handle on it.
It looked like Derek Nix knocked that away from behind with his left hand, but a terrific move by Thompson. Just needs to get that ball out in front of him. So he had that ball to the side. That ball was knocked out of his hands. I mean, that's an obvious call that the referees missed.
Sure was on the replay. That was their first turnover in the last 12 minutes. We'll see if Appling can jumpstart them. The terrific freshman doing a lot of dribbling. Draymond Green. Nix has Hill on his back. Crowd wants him to shoot it. Shot clock down to 5. Bouncing it back for Nixon, stolen away by guess who? Tristan Thompson.
Well, it was a 30-to-1 ratio between shot attempts and dribbles. It was 10-to-1 between dribbles and passes.
Boy, it's all Texas right now. That's going to be off the foot of Brown and out of play as he went with the dribble. Now tomorrow on ESPN2, 8 o'clock, Holiday Hoops continues. Number 9 Georgetown will battle number 17 Memphis. That game is also available online at ESPN3.com. Number 8 against number 17. Here tonight at the Breslin Center, it's number 12 against number 22. The lower ranked team is the sharper team tonight. That's Texas.
They've been the better team and the tougher team from tap to this point in the game.
Lucius trying to penetrate and lost it. Here's Hamilton to stuff it in.
I've never seen Corey Lucius play like this. He took that ball into the lane, fell, coughed it up. And it's been, if he were a quarterback, he would have given up 3 or 4 interceptions for touchdowns in this game.
And he would have been lifted a long time ago. Summers. A lot of jump shots tonight from the Spartans, and that has not been a good thing.
Well, you have to credit the Texas defense. Texas's defense has been really, really good.
Now the turnover. Here's Lucas up ahead of the pack to lay it in. And a rare strike the other way. A Spartan beating a Longhorn.
There's still plenty of time left in this game, but Michigan State is going to have to get some stops and be much more efficient on the offensive end.
Texas has turned it over 3 of the last 4 trips. A foul with 9:10 left. It's 52 consecutive wins at home against non-conference opponents for Michigan State. That's on the line tonight. Well, Draymond Green just picked up his 4th foul. So he's going to have to leave here with a lot of time, and they're really about to lose their most important leader for a long stretch.
And he's really struggled. He has not played well on the offensive end, and he's had a tough time with fouls, and he's 0 for 6 in the game on the offensive end. And the truth is, right now, Michigan State doesn't have anybody to guard Tristan Thompson. Every time he catches the ball in the low block, he faces up and goes around somebody, and it hasn't mattered who it's been.
And the rookie has been calling for the ball. Joseph Airborne. That won't float in for him. Summers grabs the rebound, and a foul against Balbay.
And Garrick Sherman got nailed in the face, and he's bleeding from the mouth.
Balbay with his 4th foul.
He's got to count some chiclets there. You see him stepping in, and Corey Joseph got him. It looked like he got him with his head. Yeah, that's exactly what he did right here. Catches him right with his skull.
Oh. So Garrick Sherman, 6'10" sophomore, is going to have to leave the floor and head to the trainer's room with a towel against the mouth. You saw the blood.
Must be that time of year for this kind of thing. Kansas State had a kid. Rodney Magruder lost a tooth in the game last night, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
When I was a freshman, actually, Rick Barnes was an assistant coach for George Mason. Carlos Yates knocked my teeth out when I was a freshman right about this time of year as well. Now, Rick still talks about it all the time. He says, remember when you got your teeth knocked out? Carlos Yates knocked your teeth out. He loves to bring that up.
He revels in it. Lucius back to Payne, who's into the game for Sherman. Shot clock down to 11 as he lets it fly, and it won't fall.
And it's been 1 shot and out. The offensive rebounds that Michigan State got in the first half, they are not getting in the second. And a large part of that has been the fact they've been a jump shooting team, and the jump shots have been of the last resort.
Hamilton too strong. Rowe with the rebound. Finds Appling. Up against Hamilton. Really made him adjust that shot. They'll get the second effort. Lucius swings. Here's Summers in the corner. Payne really calling for the ball with Hill on his back. Under 8 minutes to play at the Breslin Center. Michigan State in deep trouble against Texas.
They got to throw that ball inside. Hey, well, why would Adrian Payne post up? He's not going to get it. He's open.
He sets the screen now. Lucius dying to shoot it. Now kicks. Here's Rowe. And finally a foul. That was with 6 on the shot clock. We have a timeout. 7:39 to go. Time starting to run out on the Spartans. Texas looking sharp all night.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. And in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Well, for the Spartans, it may be colder inside the Breslin Center than outside. They're 17 for 54. That is 31%. Judd Heathcote is here, the former terrific coach of the Michigan State program, and he's not happy. Drew Neitzel isn't either. Great guard in this program.
A terrific guard. Judd Heathcote should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And he's still a great supporter of the program and has returned partly because of the holidays and also his relationship with Tom Izzo. Right now he looks as nervous as everybody else who supports Michigan State.
Well, his health has not been as good as we would all like. He took a fall recently and over the summer was not feeling particularly well. I think he's telling everybody he was diving on a loose ball, but we're not believing that. But one of the funniest dinner speakers I have ever heard.
Is that right?
Oh, unbelievable.
Well, Rowe making 2, 57-48, so Michigan State inside 10. But shooting just 31% from the field. A reach-in foul there by Corey Lucius to stop the clock with 7:31 to go. Number 2.
Well, little bumping, but not a lot. The problem is when that stuff, that stuff can go on below the free throw line, but when it's out front, these referees get graded on this stuff. And when you have 2 hands on a ball handler, there's excessive bumping, they're expected to call that. And, their ability to get selected for the NCAA tournament is at stake. And oftentimes when it's out in the open like that, they feel like they have to call it.
Johnson, no. Hill there to try and follow, and a foul against Michigan State.
I thought Hill pushed off to get that rebound.
That was why everyone was howling. That's right.
Well, that's one of the things when a coach will say, Tom Izzo will say, did he push you? Okay, well, don't let him push you. Be stronger. And Hill may have gotten away with a push, but the truth is he was the stronger player.
So Texas to set it up on top by 9 at the Breslin Center.
They need to get the ball into Hamilton. He's got a favorable matchup that he could have taken into the post.
Hamilton at the foul line, pulls up, knocks that one down.
He's just so strong, and he's got a good pull-up jump shot, a good little floater, and he's really good in the post. Rick Barnes runs a lot of things for him to come up, post up on one side, then a ball reversal, get a little flex cut where he can get a quick duck in into the post and take advantage of a guard matchup.
Joseph knocked that one away. Some terrific defense there, but it's off Thompson. Can he chase it down? No, he can't.
But Paul Jansen did a nice job making the call while falling down. Very effective.
Did they get graded on that as well?
Well, when you show that fancy footwork, that was impressive. Gets hit right here, falls down, still makes the call. Out of bounds, going the other way. Nicely done. Keeping his head up. Excellent officiating technique.
See Texas with only 9 turnovers. Again, they only average 13 a game. Lucas back off for Green, who'll attack, and with the left hand, no, the follow, and got that one.
Well, he got the follow, but he needed to go straight into the contact rather than try to avoid it.
That's his first field goal. He's 1 for 8. But it makes it a 9-point game.
I like Hamilton down in the post right now with his matchup.
Thompson commanding the ball again. No, that barely grazed the iron. Here's Lucas out of the pack. Lucius, long one coming. That would have lit the place up. Summers with another opportunity. That won't drop.
Well, they have had a number of chances to knock down shots inside. It all started when Delvon Rowe missed that bunny to start the second half. And Michigan State walking back to their huddle, and some heads are down. This is not a team that looks like things are going well. They need to get a little bit tougher because the tougher team has been Texas.
So Texas on top 59-50 against a cold shooting Michigan State team. Turnovers been a huge factor, and what Texas has done with them.
Yeah, exactly. That's really the key, is the turnovers when Michigan State has thrown the ball out of bounds. They're not good turnovers, but they're better than these. When they throw the ball, you know, that's another one. Those are all out of bounds, but the ones where they turn them over, they're live ball turnovers, and Texas takes it the other way and gets a layup. They've gotten a number of those. And really, Dave, I think that's just about the exact difference in the game. You know, the 9-point difference, I think, can be attributed to those turnovers for layups, and then taking a bad shot, and all of a sudden Texas taking that ball for a layup in transition.
Obviously, Michigan State hasn't shot anything well. 20% on three-pointers tonight, and 31% overall. And now it goes back to Tom Izzo's very candid, very pointed comments after the Syracuse loss, when he said, we're a pretty boy jump shooting team. And really, there's been very little evidence that they have changed since then.
Yeah, and against Syracuse, you can understand that a little bit, because Syracuse's zone is so unique and so different. You're going to have to take jump shots against that. But they've been played man-to-man in this game. I mean, Texas hasn't played one possession of zone. And they played a little bit of, Texas played a little bit of zone against Carolina. I think they were expecting to play some tonight. They haven't had to. You know, they haven't been in any foul trouble. And it hasn't been like Michigan State has taken advantage of them off the dribble or getting into the lane.
Now, both of these teams have been playing absolutely brutal schedules. Coming into this non-conference matchup, Joseph pulls up, pops. Rebounded by Green on the baseline. Outletting for Lucas. Leaves it off, and it's plucked away by Jordan Hamilton. That's 14 turnovers for the Spartans. Johnson, one dribble down. Heavy traffic, can't get it to go. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
That's it for Draymond Green.
Yes, that's number 5. On a man who leads the Spartans in rebounds, steals, blocks, and three-point accuracy. He's going to argue his case with Tom Izzo, but he gets hit with number 5. And he is done for the night. A very unproductive night, which is quite rare for Green. Came in averaging 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. And shooting 50% from 3. Had a miserable shooting night. 1 for 8. So Nix will replace him. But they lose a lot when they lose Draymond Green, especially with all this time left.
But the decisions of the Michigan State guards in this ballgame have been inexplicable. These are Final Four guards. With Corey Lucius, Darrell Summers, Kalen Wood. These guys have played in Final Fours. They've played in unbelievable atmospheres under tremendous pressure. And they've made some decisions on the break, trying to thread needles that are really not only uncharacteristic, they're hard to understand.
And conversely, it's been a completely different story with Texas. Lucius, no. Yet another that won't fall. This is a very tough environment typically to play in for anybody. And tonight, Texas with a victory. They're less than 5 minutes away from pulling it off. Will be the first non-conference opponent to beat Michigan State here since 2003, since Duke did it. Johnson draws the foul. He gets the basket. He'll go back to the line.
Just a strong move. And he got the ball late. You know, one thing that Texas needs to improve upon, and I think they will, is passing the ball into the post. You know, they're missing open people when they get open, but he just dislodges Summers. He's got a size advantage, just backed him down. Nobody comes to double team, and that's a choice that Michigan State has made. But Johnson just made a strong move, got fouled, and finished the play, something that Michigan State on the other end has not been able to do.
No three-point play, so it remains a 13-point lead. There's the third foul on Summers. And Lucas ignites something here with 4.5 minutes to go for Tom Izzo. Nice. Sherman with a swing. The reverse won't go. Boy, it's almost comical to see them miss all these shots.
They're getting what they wanted.
You can't get an easier shot than that. And Sherman, who usually is pretty reliable going to the other side of the rim and finishing the play, shoots 68% on the season.
Nobody rooting for Michigan State is laughing, though. Back up and a great return there by Jordan Hamilton, and the lead is back to 15 points.
Well, Jordan Hamilton averages over 7 rebounds per game, and 2.5 of those rebounds are offensive. He just overpowered Corey Lucius. I mean, that was a total mismatch on the glass.
65-50. Again, one of the bigger leads of the night for Texas. Jordan Hamilton came in averaging 19 points and 7 rebounds, living up to those numbers tonight.
He's gotten it every different way. Makes a terrific read, leans into the lane, and then pops back for an open shot. Finishes on the break, runs the floor. You can see here putting the ball on the deck and a really good pull-up jump shot. I mean, this young man has got the complete package, and we didn't even show him in the post where he's been very effective. He can take a smaller guard down into the post. He's got 19 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, that's a productive day from your 3-man. And whatever smaller guard's been on him, whether it's been Keith Appling or Corey Lucius, he's taken him down in the post and overpowered him. And he did that against North Carolina. You know, when North Carolina put a smaller guard, he went into the post and he overpowered him. And that's going to be a consistent theme all season long for Texas. They have got to look to Jordan Hamilton whenever he's got a mismatch.
Came in averaging 19 and 7. He's right at those averages, a little better on the glass tonight. And he and Tristan Thompson, the main reasons that Michigan State is suffering here at home this evening. 65-50. By the way, Garrick Sherman has returned after he got popped right in the mouth and drew a considerable amount of blood. Got that attended to. And he's back on the floor now for the Spartans. They're looking for anybody they can to give them a lift.
But Texas is really guarding the ball very well.
Look at Johnson just take that one away from Summers in the corner.
I mean, they are just dominating this game.
They've been tougher. They've been stronger. They've been more resolute on the defensive end. They've had every answer, and Michigan State is left shaking their heads.
Texas leading for all the 54 seconds tonight.
I don't remember a team doing this to Michigan State.
Nor do I. Certainly not in recent history. Talking about a Final Four team. They brought just about everybody back. They're on the verge of their 4th loss. Lucas, and that's just good, clean defense again.
Yeah, he went 1-on-4 though. And he's a smaller guard. You gotta.
It's one thing to attack, but if you're not going to seek out somebody's body, that's going to be a tough finish.
And so with about 3 minutes to go, fans are already heading for the exits here at the Breslin Center. That's another thing you just don't see. A foul here with 2:46 to go. And all Texas, the Longhorns standing tall tonight on the road. Lucas just picked up his 2nd foul.
The winter sun is setting in St. Louis, but the curtain is about to rise on one of college hoops' best non-conference rivalries. Are you black and gold, or does orange and blue suit you? Well, Missouri and Illinois are both ranked, and they're both ready. After all, it's for bragging rights, and it's next. Now back to Dave O'Brien at Michigan State.
Bob, thank you very much. 65-50. Texas in full command with less than 3 minutes to go, and many of the fans heading out into the winter chill of East Lansing, Michigan. They believe this one is long since decided. Now Texas at the foul line. It'll be Corey Joseph, 69% to shoot. Been averaging 16 points a game his last half dozen games. But boy, Jay, when you look at Texas, and particularly on the defensive side, they have a lot of weapons, a lot of different ways to beat you.
Well, they're really good defensively. They get great pressure on the ball. They've got a couple of really good shot blockers. Matt Hill is one of them. Tristan Thompson the other. And he almost blocked it. See, that was Kalen Lucas seeking out the body of a defender. You know, that's what he should have done on that transition play where he went just about 1-on-4. And he went right into the chest and took up that space and drew that foul. It might have gotten blocked or whatever, but he got the foul first and then tried to finish the play after that.
Thompson's third. And Lucas hits the first one. Michigan State shooting under 30% for the game as Payne returns and Rowe heads to the bench for Tom Izzo, who's been very frustrated with his gang tonight.
See, I don't think this is just a game where you can say, well, we just didn't shoot it very well. You know, I don't think Michigan State is going to be in the locker room afterwards saying, hey, we knocked down a couple shots. You know, we just didn't shoot it, didn't make shots. You know, they didn't get back defensively. They got out fought. They got out executed in the second half. And you just don't see that from a Michigan State team. This is really unusual.
Joseph falls away and misfires. Thompson another rebound. That's 14 for him in this game.
He has been he and Jordan Hamilton have been the best players on the floor, and there hasn't been a Spartan that has challenged him.
And Hamilton is a sophomore and Thompson is a freshman. So very bright days both tonight and down the line for Texas, and they'll get another opportunity here. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Hamilton to the baseline. It floats, spins, and rolls in.
He's got every shot in the book. And the only thing he's lacking right now is defense. And I think he's trying, and as he learns the game, he's one of those guys that has, everybody talks about his NBA talent, and he's got a ton of talent. But if he refines his game and stays in college, he's looking at a really long career in this game. But he needs to learn how to play before he takes it to the next level.
Payne picked up an offensive foul on the other end against Michigan State. And on that possession where Hamilton finished it off there, this one's picked up by Lucas. They ran a minute off the clock. Lucas will be fouled. 1:19 to go as they continue to flee the Breslin Center here in East Lansing. 2010 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic coming your way. Late night, ESPNU at 11 p.m. Utah against Butler. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's Florida State taking on Hawaii. Jay Billis's tan hasn't faded yet from his marvelous trip to Maui. Still hanging in there for another several months.
My tan about the same as Raftery's. Raftery's been going to Maui for that tournament for 28 years now, and his legs have never seen the sun.
I think that's a good thing for the rest of us.
Well, I know the Chamber of Commerce and the Maui Visitors Bureau is very pleased that that's the case.
67-53 with 1:19 to go, and Mike Keebler, a senior, will come onto the floor. Lucas is done for the night. He had a choppy performance this evening, as most of his teammates did. That might be about the best thing you can say about Michigan State tonight.
Well, we've talked a lot about the things that Michigan State didn't do and didn't do well, but Texas has been outstanding, and they caused a number of those problems. I'll tell you, this team, I think Texas is going to continue to get better, and I think with Corey Joseph running the point, and with this young man scoring the way he's capable of scoring, and Tristan Thompson getting better and better, you know, Texas is on the upswing this season.
And they really do get in your shirt and guard. Foul here with 40.6 seconds left, and a streak is about to come to an end. A home court winning streak against non-conference opponents from Michigan State, a 52 in a row that will die here tonight. Tom Izzo saying, I came back for this after being suspended one game for a minor NCAA violation. He cannot be pleased at all, but I think you're absolutely right. Texas deserves a giant share of the credit tonight.
Well, think of
quickness and defense.
You know, think about what they've done. I mean, they went to USC and essentially got blown out by the Trojans. You know, it was their first real road game. Now they come in a place where, you know, people just don't win. And they come in here into a difficult environment, young team, and they were the stronger team. They were the more mature team, and frankly, they were the dominant team. This is a big step forward for this Texas team.
Another thing they did tonight, they reached for the mute button. They really made this a quiet building when typically it's one of the loudest, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country. And so the final seconds ticking away. Texas with a very impressive win over the number 12 team in the country. The Longhorns will improve to 10-2. They're going to go up in the polls. Michigan State will fall to 8-4. They are likely to drop even further after they were number 2 at the start of play. Shot clock violation, so that'll give it back over. So Michigan State will have it for the last 5 seconds.
When you've got a game December 22nd, it makes for two very different holidays for these teams.
Well, that's a definitive way to end it, isn't it? Jordan Hamilton slapping that one away, the rejection. The first non-conference home loss since December 3-03 when they lost to Duke. So 52 in a row against non-conference opponents, but that is over as Texas wins this one, and impressively 67-55 the final. Coming up next on ESPN2, it's Missouri and Illinois for bragging rights. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For my partner Jay Billis, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy holidays to you and yours. Right now we go to Ryan Burr, Jimmy Dykes, and Dan Dakich in the studio as we say goodnight from East Lansing.